Hey guys! Today we're going to talk about the passé composé of reflexive verbs. So we're going to be using our reflexive verbs in the past tense, talking about what people did to themselves in the past. For example, je me suis réveillé à 5 heures. I woke up at 5 o'clock. Or, tu t'es amusé au parc? Did you have fun at the park? Another example, nous ne nous sommes pas assises. We did not sit down. So our helping verb for this form of the passé composé will be être, to be. So we'll start with our subject, je, and we'll follow with our reflexive pronoun, me, for example. The next word will be our helping verb être. So the form of être that goes with je is suis. And then we'll have our past participle of the reflexive verb. For example, réveillé. So if I say je me suis réveillé, it means I woke up. I woke up. And to form our past participles of ER verbs like réveiller, we're just going to take off the ER ending and replace it with I accent aigu. For our irregular verb asseoir, to sit down, our past participle is assis. Assis. So whenever we use être as our helping verb, we need to have agreement with the past participle and the gender and number of the subject of our sentence. So when we have something that's masculine singular, there's no change. Il s'est couché. We just use the most basic form of the past participle. When the subject is feminine, however, we're going to add an E to our past participle. Elle s'est levée. We've added an E to the end of our past participle, levé. If something is plural, we're going to add an S to our past participle. For example, nous nous sommes levés. We've added an S to the past participle, levé, because nous, we, is plural. We're talking about more than one person. So let's conjugate an entire reflexive verb in the past tense. Se réveiller, to wake up. Je me suis réveillé. I woke up. Notice there's no E on the end of this past participle, so the speaker must be male. I'm female, so I would say je me suis réveillé, and I would always have an E on the end whenever I wrote that. For tu, if I was talking to a man, if I were to say you woke up, I would say tu t'es réveillé, and I would not have an E on the end because it's masculine. But if I were talking to a female, I would have tu t'es réveillé with an E on the end because the subject is feminine. If I were to say il s'est réveillé, he woke up, I would never have an E on the end because he is always masculine. And if I were to say elle s'est réveillée, she woke up, I would always have an E on the end because elle is feminine. Now, sometimes our subjects on the right-hand side of our list are plural and sometimes they are not. Nous is always plural because it means we. We are always more than one person. So, nous nous sommes réveillés, we woke up. This is the masculine form because there is an S, but there's no E. So this would be for if I were talking about a group of mixed men and women or just all guys. But if I were to say nous nous sommes réveillés and there's an E and an S, I'm talking about we, a group of women. Okay, all women would get E and S because they're feminine and there's more than one of them. Okay? For vous, it can be any combination. If I were talking to one man and I were being very polite to him, so I were calling him vous, I would say vous vous êtes réveillé. You woke up. And I wouldn't add an E because he's not feminine, and I wouldn't add an S because he's only one person. If I were talking to a woman in the same case, one woman, but I was being very formal, I would say vous vous êtes réveillé, and I would add an E on the end because that one woman is feminine. If I were talking to a group of men or a group of people of mixed genders, some men and some women, I would say vous vous êtes réveillés. And it has an S on the end because I'm talking to more than one person, but no E because some of the people in the group are men. If I were to say vous vous êtes réveillé with an E and an S, I'm certainly talking to a group of females because there's an E. And of course, since it's a group of people, it would have an S. Now finally, ils se sont réveillés. They woke up. This has an S on the end, of course, because they is always plural. So this set here will always get an S. Now, this is a group of men or a group of mixed men and women because there's an S but there's no E. So that would be that. And then elles se sont réveillées. They woke up. Elle is always for exclusively women. So we have our E for feminine and our S because they is plural. Now the last part that we need to learn is how to use negation when we're using the past tense with reflexive verbs. That is, where will we put ne and pas when we said what people didn't do? Let's take a look at this example. Je ne me suis pas regardé au miroir. I did not look at myself in the mirror. Notice that ne and pas go around the reflexive pronoun and the helping verb être. Okay? Now, tu ne t'es pas amusé au parc? You didn't have fun at the park? It's the same thing. The ne and the pas go around the reflexive pronoun and the helping verb être. And again down here, nous ne nous sommes pas assises. We did not sit down. The ne and the pas go around the reflexive pronoun nous and the helping verb être. So hopefully today's video has helped you to understand how to use reflexive verbs in the past tense. As always, if you have any questions at all, please let me know.